Welcome everybody, welcome back to Homestead Heart. And today you all, I am outside starting some more seeds. Now, the seeds that I am starting today, you all, what is that? I am starting these seeds in trays, okay? And the reason, but no, put that down. Thank you. Leave it. That's mine. You don't take my stuff out of here. You're trying to swipe my funnel. You don't get to swipe my funnel. Now, anyway, the reason why I am starting these seeds in trays, you all, is because it does better for us to start them in trays. And I'm talking about corn. Now, this corn that I am planting today is a hybrid. I was gonna plant my heirloom variety, but one of the things that I recalled is that we were growing, I think the first or second year here on this homestead, we were growing the bodacious sweet corn. And it performed tremendously well for us. We had so much corn, we didn't know what to do with. And it isn't hybrid. Hybrid doesn't mean genetically modified. It just means hybrid, okay? A hybrid could be the best qualities taken from two different varieties, and then those are the seeds that you get, and you get a better corn, more resistant sometimes to different diseases and or different pests or whatnot, right? So this bodacious sweet corn is the corn that we planted year 1 or 2 here, probably year 2, and I think year 4 or 3 we tried the peaches and cream corn. That did not do well for us at all. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the bodacious sweet, because our corn that we saved is all gone. And I would rather grow my own corn knowing that I'm getting a good variety of corn, one that has not been genetically modified, right? And we do not have cornfields anywhere around us. This is mostly peaches and pecans and cattle, things of that nature, but no cornfields. And I can't even tell you how many miles, right? So we're going to be planting the bodacious sweet corn. Now, let me bring you a little closer to me. Come close. Don't be afraid. All right. I know. Some of you know where it came from. Some of you know where it came from, right? Grandbabies. Happy feet. But anyway, my corn seed has been soaking for the last day and a half, okay? I've already done 3 trays of corn. Already done 3. And these are the 72 cells, all right? These are 72 cells, and this is my 4th tray, okay? So now all I'm getting ready to do is drop these seeds inside of each one of these cells, and I'm using my little Sharpie here. Where's my other little thingy-majiggy? I got a dibber in here. I could have just used this instead of my Sharpie getting dirt all over it. Got my little dibber here. Yeah, this is always better than anything else I use. So the reason why, you all, I plant corn and start my corn seed in trays is because we have a serious ant problem here, okay? And it seems like every time I would put my corn seed in the ground, I always have to worry about the ants, right? You soak that corn and then it smells so good. It smells so sweet, right? And so it just attracts the ants, and they end up eating my corn. They end up eating it, and I never know until it's too late, because I would have spotty germination in different places, right? I would have a few coming up here and nothing here, and one over here and none over there, you know. And so I learned that starting the corn seed in these trays works so much better for us than direct sowing them in the ground. Okay, they work better for us doing it this way. Now my corn has already started to sprout a bit because I had it in that water for so long, so they're already beginning to sprout, which is good. And this way I can ensure that whatever I plant, when I plant the actual starts, they'll be coming up. I'm sorry, when I plant the starts, they'll already be up, and I'll already know what I'm working with. Okay, I'll already know what I'm working with. So like I said, this is my 4th tray that I have planted, that I'm planting out, and I'm planting them all at the same time. Normally I would do some succession planting. Did I get dirt on my nose? No. Normally I would do some succession planting, but I'm planting all of these at the same time. Now, what I'm going to do in comparison, I'm going to try to get another area prepared for corn. And in that area, I'm going to try to get in some peaches and cream. But I won't be starting that corn. I won't be starting that corn for about 2.5 weeks or so. All right, because I don't want, if I do plant 2 separate areas of corn, I don't want both areas to be ready at the same time. Now, one thing I can tell you that I learned is that when planting corn, you only have a small window of opportunity to get that corn harvested and processed before it starts to lose a lot of that sweetness and a lot of the milk that's in the corn that makes for such a delicious sweet corn. In fact, that's the best time when you want to eat corn, when it's still in that milky type of a state, right? Very tender kernels, very juicy, very sweet. Okay, so I'm gonna plant these, or start these seeds, approximately 2.5 weeks apart, no more than 3 weeks. No more than 3 weeks apart. And that still will give enough time for this corn to grow. And I probably have started a little bit, probably started way too many seeds, but that's okay. Who knows, I may pull out another tray just in case, just to make sure they all germinate. And actually having 4 trays like this, that's the reason why I did so many, because all of these may not come up. Okay, all of them may not come up, and if they don't all come up, then I'll still end up with the amount of corn that I intended from the beginning. And I still have my seed starting mix here. I'm just going to use my shovel and just kind of sprinkle that over the top and give that a little pat down. And believe it or not, if you transplant this corn early enough, once it grows, it doesn't affect the corn at all. It transplants really good. And I know sometimes we hear that corn does not transplant well, but I'm here to tell you that from my own experience, I've always had better success transplanting the corn than direct sowing it. But you know, you do have to do what works best for you where you are. You know, I always say I don't believe there is a one size fits all when you're doing a lot of things. You know, you have to figure out what works best for you in your area. And this soil here, this mix is already very moist, okay? It's very moist because I wet it real good. And then I'm just gonna give it a pat down. You can see it's wet because look at my gloves. And I'm not putting too much pressure on this. I'm just trying to make sure my cells are filled. And then I'm gonna get my water and I'm gonna go over this lightly. Put my corn tag in. I'm not gonna label it with the variety because I only have one variety, okay? And that's the Bodacious Sweet. And by the time I get ready to plant the other variety, this will be up and out, okay? Now, the one thing I'm gonna tell you is that if you do start corn in cells, I have cell trays that are small, 1/28. You don't want to use those. The 50 cells, you don't need to use those. That's a lot of extra soil or starting mix that you really don't need, okay? So the 72s are better. As you could see, let me take this out. You can see the size of the cells. They're not too big and they're not too small, okay? See that? They're not too big and they're not too small. And these little trays here, these are the trays that come from, they have holes in the bottom. These are the trays that you can get from like the big box stores when they're having their plants and they're getting ready. They throw all these things to the side. And just for the record, when I was at Home Depot and Lowe's recently, I asked them, I hope Kitty Wit is not attacking Rainy. Hold on. Okay. Our little Kitty Wit, y'all, for some reason has a problem with Rainy now. And every time she sees her, little old bitty cat, right? Every time she sees her, she goes after her. And I mean, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. I think that's her motto. But anyway, just for the record, these at Lowe's and Home Depot, they're still giving them away in our area free. No charge, okay? So these are the trays that your 6-packs come in when you're buying flowers or seed vegetable starts. They come in these, and I have found that these also work really good for my cell trays. Now my cell trays, you all, I get these from Bootstrap Farmer, and if you're interested in getting these, the 1/28s or the 50s, or even their 10/20 trays, which are very tough trays, it'll be a link in the description box below. All right, and you all can use that affiliate link and get yourself some trays, okay? But I have this in this tray because I don't have any 1020s that have holes in them. I didn't buy any, okay? So I use this instead. And that way when I water this, the water will drain out because I don't want that corn sitting in water rotting. That's what you don't want. All right. Now, as I was saying about this, you don't need cells too big and you don't want them too small. This is a good size. This is a 72. And you can pretty much find a 72 cell just about anywhere you go when you're buying your seed starting trays. Now, here's the thing that I want you to remember. If you're going to start your corn seeds in these cell trays, do not start them until the area that you're planting in is ready to go. It won't take these long at all to come up in these trays, okay? In fact, they'll be up in just a few days. And then I'll give them once they get maybe about an inch, inch and a half or so, no larger than 2 inches above the soil line, that's when they come out and go in the ground, okay? I don't let them get really big, okay? You don't want that. You don't want them to get too big in the trays to where you got corn this tall sitting in your trays. You can get rid of them. They probably will not produce, okay? So you want to get them out early, all right? 2 inches above the soil line is when I prefer to do it. 3 inches is pushing it. But you want to have your area already prepared before you plant the seed. And I say before because things can happen. You get the seed planted and the ground ain't ready. You gotta do it tomorrow, and tomorrow comes and something come up, and 2 days later it's raining. It still ain't done. And before long, you got all these trays full of corn with nowhere for them to go, and then you have to start over again. It's very important that you soak your corn seed overnight to get the best germination before you put it in the ground or before you start it in your seed starting trays. Okay, you all? So now the variety that I'm recommending, if you want a hybrid, if you want an heirloom variety, I'm gonna go back to Peaches and Cream. And there's another one too. I wonder if Ambrosia is it. There are 2 varieties that I've tasted that I really enjoy, okay? And those 2 heirloom varieties are it. And if you don't mind a hybrid, then that Bodacious Sweet, that corn grows for us here in the South in Zone 8, okay? So that's just something for you to consider, all right, you all? But that's gonna do it. I have 2 trays down here. This is my 3rd tray of planting corn, and I think I have 1 outside as well. I'm gonna water these and get a table set up outside. I'm not leaving them in the greenhouse because you all, I want them to be acclimated outside. I don't want them under cover. I want them coming up ready to go, okay? So I don't want to have to go through a hardening off process with them. So they're going to go right outside on the table. So when they do come up, you know, hey, they're already ready. Now, today is April 10th or so. And so the actual planting date for corn in our area, according to Farmer's Almanac, is around the 14th. So I'm just a few days early, that's fine. But these are all going outdoors, okay? It's gonna be cool tonight, but that's all right. They should still germinate. They should still do just fine, okay? All right, you all, that's gonna do it for me getting my trays of corn planted out. And look, I still have a ton of them left in the bottom in there, right? And I still may plant them. Seriously, I still may try to grab some more trays and go and get them planted. All right, you all, just to have them, just in case. Okay? All right, y'all, that's going to do it. Thank you for joining me here today at Homestead Heart while I get my seeds planted. Don't worry. When it's time for me to transplant them out into the garden, I'm going to take you along with us as well. All right? So, y'all, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and give our video a thumbs up. Please share the video as well. That really does help our channel. Also subscribe if you have not, and hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss any videos we upload to our channel. And thank you all again for watching Homestead Heart. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. I'm gonna see y'all in the next video, and remember, Grow your groceries.